After 2 weeks of competition between high-level athletes and meetings between high-level diplomats, the Pyeongchang Olympics came to a close this past weekend. Along with the conclusion of the Games came a tentative step forward in the relationship between the United States and North Korea. South Korea's presidential Blue House said Sunday that North Korea is willing to have talks with the U.S. The White House insists any talks that would be geared toward getting North Korea to give up its nuclear program, of course. But there is no word on whether the Kim Jong-un regime is willing to accept that very important condition. Matthew Kroenig is a professor at Georgetown School of Foreign Service, as well as a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council, and he joins us now from our Washington bureau. Matthew, he's also the author of the new book, The Logic of American Nuclear Strategy, Why Strategic Superiority Matters. A mouthful, but an important issue. Matthew, President Trump said that the U.S. would be interested in talking with North Korea, but only under the right conditions. I'm just wondering if the circumstances under which that would take place has changed at all post-Olympics.
Well, I think the United States goal and the goal of the international community remains the denuclearization of North Korea. The North Koreans have said that that's not even on the table, that they want talks to be recognized as a nuclear-armed state. So I think both sides have been a little bit unclear about whether they want talks or not. Both have suggested maybe they're open to it, maybe not. And I think it's because the prospects of a deal are so far away. The two sides are still so far apart. So the question is it worth having talks about talks that maybe will lead somewhere at some point?
And so what would need to happen on both sides in order to get this from saying, OK, we might be able to speak, to actually doing it?
Well, again, I think both sides have been somewhat unclear. The U.S. position has been that North Korea must be willing to at least talk about the possibility of denuclearization. Others have said that maybe North Korea could just make some gestures, goodwill gestures, not testing nuclear weapons for a while, not testing ballistic missiles for a while, that maybe that would be enough. And there could be value to talking. The United States could communicate messages, it could gather intelligence. So there could be benefits to talking, even if a deal is not close to at hand.
And what's incredible is while you have this, offshoot of possible diplomacy, the U.S. Special Envoy to North Korea, Joseph Yoon, announced his plan to retire by the end of the week. Remind us of his role and what his departure means now for any potential upcoming talks.
Yes. Well, I think that is a blow to U.S. diplomatic strategy in North Korea. I had the pleasure of having lunch with Ambassador Yoon a couple of weeks ago, talking about these issues. He's perhaps the senior-most person in the State Department focusing full-time on the North Korea issue, a seasoned diplomat. So his departure will leave the U.S. worse off in this area.
And do we have any clue as to why he is leaving his post? The White House would not discuss publicly any plans to replace him. What would the process be? How urgent is this post?
Yes, well, I don't know why he retired. He is at about normal retirement age, so it may have been something that's been in the works for a while. In terms of a replacement, he's not a political appointee. He is a career Foreign Service officer. So I think it's possible that somebody within the Foreign Service might be elevated into that position. So with any luck, we'll get another experienced, capable diplomat in that role.
All right, Matthew Kroenig, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.